Hey guys, this is Kellen from Standard and Twain, and today, well, I had planned on smoking the El Cerdito from Statesman Cigar Company. However, last night the temperature dropped about 20 degrees, so it is 40 degrees outside. I wish I was where Tommy was right now.
Yeah,
Tommy,
yeah.
thanks for joining me, man.
Of course. Thank you for having me on. I'm pumped about this.
So we just released this latest package, which features one of the four, featured the El Cerdito, and we're super excited to be working with Tommy and his crew. And they're making this little fun little cigar that's just a little flavor bomb, really nice. Tommy, why don't you tell us a little bit about Statesman, how you guys got going?
For sure. So Statesman, its origins are in COVID. In LA, we were super locked down, and we kind of were going crazy. So some of our friends had previous experience with cigars, just like casually smoking cigars. And so we started having these whiskey and cigar nights during COVID at my house. That kind of grew into like we'd have, 15, 20 guys at a time having cigars, having whiskey, just having conversations, surviving COVID. And we really, out of that shared experience, myself, and three other guys who are my friends from those nights, we're like, what if we could translate this experience into like a mission, like a thing of if we can replicate what happens during these nights on at scale, it could be something really interesting. And for us, so it was that thing of Statesman started about with a focus on relationship. It wasn't about just the cigars. It wasn't just about, it definitely wasn't about a business. It was about relationship. And out of that, we, landed on that mission of we could translate what we've kind of come to term the Statesman lifestyle of having great cigars, having great drinks, having relationship with people, like that whole thing. If we could translate that to others, I think that would be a really, interesting business. And so that's how we got into it.
Awesome. And what were you guys doing at the time as far as like your like work and stuff like that?
Sure. So we all have a creative background in music. We're all musicians. And
Okay.
then professionally, so my background is I'm a creative director for like agencies. I've done some corporate work, and then another one of our partners, he's now a area director for a 7 location restaurant chain in LA.
Okay.
So he does the nitty gritty of hospitality, which is always fun. And
Yeah.
then the other two guys. Um, it, the other one of them is a GM at a restaurant in Wyoming. Actually, he travels back and forth, and then the other one is a touring musician. And so yeah, we all kind of have that shared creative background.
Amazing. So this is the El Cerdito, and this is one of two lines that you have.
Yes, sir.
The Statesman being the other, which is the Connecticut
Yep.
shade. We chose this one. The Connecticut shade is really nice. You guys should check it out. It's a Connecticut cigar. It's a well done Connecticut cigar.
It's fine.
This one's to me was a little bit more interesting in
Yeah.
flavor wise. It's pretty, it's a straightforward smoke, but it's got a lot of flavors of like wood, dark chocolate,
Yep.
sweet like molasses, something like that. Really
Yep. Yep.
nice. And tell me about who's making your cigars.
Yep. So our cigars, it was a cool story. So we were featured in Cigar and Spirits magazine, their PCA edition of
Yeah.
the magazine. So that would have been April of last year. And through that partnership, which shout out to Cigar and Spirits, it's a great magazine that really helped us in the beginning. Through that partnership, their like head of creative brought us out to PCA, myself and our CFO, and just connected us with some people. And one of the people he connected us with was Roberto Argueta from his personal brand is 1966 Cigars, but his factory, they do cigars for a variety of different brands.
Okay.
And they're based in Danlí, Honduras. And so originally our cigars were from Nicaragua. We had a very small family farm that was through one of our partners. He's originally from Nicaragua,
Okay.
through a connection there. But then we are currently in transition to primarily being out of the Danlí, Honduras factory. And Yeah, it's great. He's a great guy. He's young like us. He's just a little older than us. Really hungry. He makes great cigars. And I think that yeah, partnership wise, it's something that's going to be really good for both of us.
Awesome. So, last question. I appreciate your time and sitting down with us, but tell me about Statesman as far as your branding and just your overall like story and stuff like that. As far as how you definitely have if you guys go to their website, you can kind of see they definitely have a vibe. How did you just come to that?
It's a great question. So I think what separates us beyond the fact that we're all quite young for this industry, we're all under 35, which
Yeah.
anytime we interact with people, they're like, wow, you guys are so young. It's like, yes, we're young people. Beyond that, our whole thing was we wanted to, my focus creatively for Statesman was I wanted to be able to blend the um the history of the cigar industry. There's a rich history there, but I think that there could be like a modern elegance that could be brought to it. And so that kind of collision of a modern branding aesthetic of like the colors that we use, the fonts that we use, how we present our product photography wise, like all of those things, that modern take combined with we're still paying ode to this is a 150 plus year old, industry. That was a really interesting space for us, and we felt like if we could nail that, which I believe we have, you have a really interesting thing of bringing something new to the industry while also respecting the fact that like we wouldn't be here if other brands didn't pave that way for us.
Love that, man. So this is probably for our members, this is probably the newest, youngest company that we've featured, maybe ever. And you know what?
That's cool.
Yeah, man. And I talk about a lot of times, I'll talk about how it's interesting to watch which companies are excited about putting their cigars in a blind tasting. Um,
Hmm.
and you can tell who's very confident and excited about their stuff. Um,
Yeah.
so um, just so our members know, Tommy actually reached out to me wanting his cigars in this blind taste. So when maybe normally I would have hesitated. I saw how excited they were to get their cigars in the blind tasting, put it to the test. And then, of
Yeah.
course, he sent me some cigars. I smoked them.
Yeah.
They smoked great. So that's why they're here, man. So
Yeah.
we get to go on this journey with Statesman, and we will surely feature their cigars again in the future. And best of luck to you guys, man. We're excited for you.
I appreciate it, Kellen. Thank you so much for giving us the opportunity. We are excited about it.
Well, you guys go and do the survey, do the rankings, do all
Yeah.
that, and let's see where it stacks up. And man, I appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
Perfect. Thank you.
All right, man. Cheers.